योगीन्द्रमीड्यं भवरोग वैद्यं गुरुं कृपालुं प्रणमामि नित्यम्। अहो बकीयं स्तनकालकूटं जिघांसयापाययदप्यसाध्वी लेभे गतिं धातृचितां ततोऽन्यं कं वा दयालुं शरणं व्रजेम। नमः कमलनाभाय नमः कमलमालिने नमः कमलपादाय नमस्ते कमलेक्षण। यो ब्रह्माणं विदधाति पूर्वं यो वै वेदांश्च प्रहिणोति तस्मै तग्वंह देवमात्मबुद्धिप्रकाशं मुमुक्षुर्वै शरणमहं प्रपद्ये। Divine souls, as we begin this fourth week of our winter retreat, we embark on the journey through Prem Ras Madira. The theme for this week is Prem Ras Madira. Please turn to page 63 in Bhajan book number 1. हम चाकर प्रीतम प्यारी के। 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 बरसाने वारे के हम चाकर प्रीतम प्यारी के,
हम चाकर प्रीतम प्यारी के,
पास न फटकत महाविष्णु के,
पास न फटकत महाविष्णु के,
पास न फटकत, पास न फटकत महाविष्णु के,
पास न फटकत महाविष्णु के,
अरु उनकी घरवारी के हम,
अरु उनकी घरवारी के,
अरु उनकी घरवारी के हम,
अरु उनकी घरवारी के हम,
चाकर चाकर प्रीतम प्यारी के
हम चाकर प्रीतम प्यारी के,
हम चाकर प्रीतम प्यारी के,
हम चाकर प्रीतम प्यारी के,
चिन्मय दिव्य धाम वृंदावन,
चिन्मय दिव्य धाम वृंदावन,
चिन्मय दिव्य धाम वृंदावन,
चिन्मय दिव्य धाम वृंदावन,
बिहरत संग बिहारी के,
हम विहरत संग बिहारी के,
हम बिहरत बिहरत संग बिहारी के,
हम विहरत संग बिहारी के,
हम चाकर प्रीतम प्यारी के,
हम चाकर प्रीतम प्यारी के,
कबहु करहत पक्ष प्यारी के,
कबहु करहत पक्ष प्यारी के,
कबहु करहत, कबहु करहत पक्ष प्यारी के,
कबहु करहत पक्ष प्यारी के,
कबहु पक्ष बनवारी के,
हम 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 चाकर चाकर प्रीतम प्यारी के,
हम चाकर प्रीतम प्यारी के,
परत परत न जाल परत ना चाल, परत ना चाल, कृपालु भूली हूँ।
परत ना चाल, कृपालु भूली हूँ।
मुक्ति पिशाचिनी नारी के हम,
मुक्ति पिशाचिनी नारी के।
हम मुक्ति पिशाचिनी नारी के।
हम मुक्ति पिशाचिनी नारी के।
हम चाकर चाकर प्रीतम प्यारी के।
हम चाकर प्रीतम प्यारी के।
वृंदा विपिन बिहारी के अरु,
वृंदा विपिन बिहारी के अरु।
श्री बरसाने वारी के।
हम 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 चाकर प्रीतम प्यारी 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 के।
हम चाकर चाकर प्रीतम प्यारी के।
हम 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 चाकर प्रीतम प्यारी के।
बोलिए वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। रासेश्वरी राधा रानी की जय। श्रीमद् सद्गुरु सरकार की जय। In this divine composition from Yugal Madhuri section of Prem Ras Madira, Jagat Guru Uttam Shri Kripalu Ji Maharaj says, I am a servant of Preetam and Pyari, Shri Krishna and Radharani. Just as our body, all the parts of the body, are servants of the soul. They're always trying to please the soul. They're always trying to bring happiness to the soul through their own subjects. For instance, eyes look at various people and different scenes and different types of flowers, beautiful things. And as if they're asking the soul, are you happy with all this? The ears are likewise trying to bring happiness to the soul. The tongue, by giving the mind delicacies, is as if asking the soul rather, are you happy with all this, all these delicacies? So every part of the body is continually serving the soul. The soul also has a soul. Our material body is the body, and then we have a soul which is divine in nature. The soul is also the body of Shri Krishna. You can say Shri Krishna, you can say Shri Radha, you can say Radha Krishna. The soul is a body of Shri Radha and Krishna. And so Shri Radha and Krishna are the supreme soul. So just as the body is always trying to serve the soul, trying to make it happy. In the same way, the soul is always trying to make the Supreme Soul happy. The soul is always a servant of Shri Radha and Krishna. Not a servant who became a servant in 2005 or some other year. The servitude did not begin one day. It is an eternal servitude. Jivera Shwarupa hoy, Krishnera Nitya Das. Gauranga Mahaprabhu says the individual soul is an eternal servant of Shri Krishna. We are eternally his servants. Serving him is our nature. And also notice that Preetam Pyari, these words for Shri Radharani and for Shri Krishna, for Shri Radha and Krishna, they are very loving words. Preetam, Priyatam, the beloved Krishna, and Pyari, the infinitely and divinely beautiful Radharani. Here Shri Maharaji does not say, I am a servant of Shri Radha and Shri Krishna, the Supreme, Purnatam Purushottam Bhagwan Shri Krishna, and his Aladini Shakti Radharani. No. He uses very beautiful, very sweet words, Preetam and Pyari, because there is a lot of sweetness in these words, in these names for Radha and Krishna, and also there is a lot of proximity, closeness. A devotee always wants closeness to God. He does not want to feel any distance. And the devotee cries out to Bhagwan Shri Krishna, Kabalon rahi ho duri aho hari. How long will there be a distance between you and I, O Shri Krishna? So the devotee does not want any distance, and he wants to be very, very close, and he has a very loving and intimate relationship with Shri Radha and Krishna. So he says, I am a servant of Preetam and Pyari. Shri Krishna is the beloved, he is the Priyatam or Preetam, and he is the beloved of everyone. Brahma, Vishnu, Shankar, all individual souls. Govinda eva purusho brahmadhyaha striya eva hi. The only male is Shri Krishna, and everyone else is a female. Brahma, Vishnu, Shankar, everyone. Some 500 years ago, the great Saint Mirabai, she went to Vrindavan and she sought shelter in one of the ashrams. She went to the ashram, but she was denied entrance. It was told to her that she is a female and the ashram only accommodates males. Hearing these words, Mirabai started to laugh. And she was asked, but why do you laugh? She said, because I just found out that there is another male besides Lord Krishna. I thought that Shri Krishna is the only male. And now you're telling me that there are other males? Hearing these words, she was invited inside. She was welcomed inside because everyone there thought, she is such an elevated soul that she realizes Shri Krishna to be the only male, the only Priyatam. Everyone else is a Preyasi. Everyone else is a lover of Shri Krishna. Shri Krishna is the only beloved. He is the only Priyatam. And she is such an exalted position in devotion. So it would be our honor to have her stay in our ashram. So Shri Krishna is the only Priyatam, the only beloved. And Radharani is non-different from Shri Krishna. She is the same as Shri Krishna. Yeyam Radha Yascha Krishno Rasabdhir Dehe Naikah Kridanartham Dvidha Bhut. Samavediya Radhikopanishad says that Radha and Krishna are one personality, one entity. Everything is the same. But just to confuse the world, to perform their pastimes, one god becomes two, and one takes on a very fair color, the other one becomes very dark. To show the world that these are two. One is a male, one is a female. But they are in fact one and the same. So I am a servant of Shri Radha and Krishna, Vrinda Vipina Bihari. Shri Krishna, my beloved, he is the Lord of Vrindavan, and Shri Barsane Varike, and she is the princess of Barsana. They're both my all in all. Now Lord Krishna is in Mathura, Shri Krishna is in Dwarika as well, and he is in Vrindavan. But the one who wishes to love Shri Krishna very intimately as a beloved does not want to devote himself, he does not concentrate on Shri Krishna in Dwarika, not at all. He's Dwarikadhish. Shri Krishna is the king in Dwarika, he's the king of Dwarika. And so there's a lot of majesty there. And devotion and majesty don't get along. They cannot exist in the same place. When you have this idea that God is majestic and he is the supreme Lord, then it's impossible to love him. Because he's too great and I am too insignificant, I'm too small. So there has to be an equality, there has to be a closeness. That feeling of the majesty cannot remain in devotion. So we do not choose Dwarikadhish Krishna. We do not choose even Mathura Wale Shri Krishna. He's in Mathura as well. The least amount of sweetness is in Dwarikadhish Krishna. I should say that he discloses the least amount of sweetness and there's more majesty. When he's in Mathura, then there is more sweetness, but still there's more majesty. There's more sweetness than he displays in Dwarika, but there is majesty there as well. But in Vrindavan, there's only sweetness and no majesty whatsoever. No Aishwarya. Aishwarya Shakti is denied entrance. Shri Krishna scolds Aishwarya Shakti. Do not come near me. He cautions Aishwarya Shakti, the power of majesty. I am going to be in Vrindavan. I'm going to play the flute in Vrindavan. I am going to perform my sweetest pastimes in Vrindavan. So you do not come near me in Vrindavan. But Aishwarya Shakti is a servant of Shri Krishna and a true servant. Even when the master chases the servant away and said, I don't want your service. I do not want you to serve me. A true servant remains in the background, always seeking an opportunity to serve his Lord and Master. Aishwarya Shakti always is hidden. She remains, but she does not let herself be known. And so whenever there's a need, Aishwarya Shakti comes. And Aishwarya did not come very often in Vrindavan. You all know the story of Shri Krishna when he was being scolded by Yashoda Maya. You have eaten dirt. I've been getting complaints about you. You have been eating dirt. And you promised me so many times that you would not eat dirt. I told you you'll get worms in your tummy if you eat dirt. I explained it to you in so many ways. And you promised me, but you always forget your promise. You have eaten dirt, haven't you? And Shri Krishna says, no, Maya, I have not eaten dirt. Believe me, I'm not lying to you. I did not eat dirt. But Yashoda said, no, open your mouth so I can inspect your mouth. And hearing these words, Shri Krishna becomes so afraid that his mouth opens by itself. The tiny little mouth of Shri Krishna, it opens by itself. Maya looks inside to do the inspection. She's going in to test him, and she gets tested herself. What does she see? It's a wondrous scene. She cannot believe her eyes. What is this? In my little child's mouth, there are so many planets. Brahma, Vishnu, Shankar, there's flames. Entire creation is there. And her mind cannot contain all this wonder, and she becomes unconscious. And that's when Shri Krishna understands that Aishwarya Shakti, The power of majesty had come. So Shri Krishna chases the power of majesty away. And then when Yashoda Maiya regains consciousness, he makes her forget what she had seen. Or if she remembers, she only thinks this much, that she has been hallucinating because of the extreme heat. It was a hot summer's day. So the power of majesty is not allowed in Vrindavan, but this power is always there to be of some service whenever needed. The power of majesty thought, my Lord is going to get beaten up by Yashoda. She has a stick in her hand, so I cannot allow this to happen. And she came and served, fulfilled her purpose, then was sent away. So in Vrindavan, the power of majesty is not allowed. So the Lord of Vrindavan, the sweetest one, and the Princess of Barsana, she is all sweetness. They are my all in all. Pasana phatakat Mahavishnu ke, aru unki gharwari ke. I do not ever go near Mahavishnu or his consort, Mahalakshmi. Well, what's wrong with Mahavishnu? He's the Supreme Lord, is he not? Yes, but again, he is majestic. Bhagwan Vedavyas has explained in the Bhagavad Puran very easily, very beautifully, that one God, there's one God, Eko Devaha Sarva Bhuteshu Gudha, so say the Vedas, but that one God, he can be thought about in three different ways. Vadanti tat tattvavidas tattvam yajnana madvayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavaniti shabdyate. Those three aspects are Brahma, Paramatma, and Bhagwan. Brahma is the impersonal absolute, the nameless and formless aspect. And Paramatma is Mahavishnu, the majestic aspect of God. And Bhagwan is the sweet and loving and compassionate form of God. When he comes down to earth and performs his leelas that make us fall in love with him, that is the Bhagwan aspect. So the devotee says, I do not go near Mahavishnu. I concern myself only with Vrinda Vipin Bihari, the one who performs pastimes in Vrindavan. Vrinda Vipin. Vipin meaning jungle, just like one. So we can say Vrindavan or Vrinda Vipin. The one who performs pastimes in Vrindavan, he's the one who's my Lord. He is my Lord, not Mahavishnu. But are they not the same? Indeed, they are the same. But at the same time, Yasyaika nishvasita kalamathavalambya jivanti loma vilaja jagadandanatha Vishnurmahansa iha yasya kala vishesho govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. Brahma Samhita says that Mahavishnu, the one who is the Lord of innumerable Brahma, Vishnu and Shankar, because there are innumerable universes, and in every universe the governors are Brahma, Vishnu and Shankar. Therefore there are innumerable Brahmas, Vishnus and Shankars. But then there's one Mahavishnu who is the Lord of all of them. But that Mahavishnu, he is a mere fraction of Shri Krishna, Govind. Mahavishnu is a fraction of Shri Krishna. Oftentimes people have it the other way around. Many people understand it the other way around. They say, but Mahavishnu is God, and then Shri Krishna is the avatar. No. Shri Krishna is the Supreme Lord, and Mahavishnu is a mere fraction of Shri Krishna. So says Brahma Samhita. So I do not go near Mahavishnu. I don't want majesty. I do not want him to be, I don't want any distance between myself and my Lord. And I do not go near Mahalakshmi. So pasana phatakat Mahavishnu ke aru unki gharwari ke. There's a very sweet story about Shri Krishna and the gopis. During the Ras, when Shri Krishna disappeared from the midst of the gopis, because they were showing pride. It was all a leela. They were showing pride. He praised them. He said, you are the most excellent dancers and you are the most beautiful females ever. You are such great dancers and singers. You know how to play the instruments like no one else. And the gopis became proud. And where there is pride, God cannot remain. Jab main tha tab hari nahi, ab hari hai main nahi, prem gali ati sankari ya me dvaina samahi. Either you can have the ego or you can have Shri Krishna. You cannot have both. So Shri Krishna left the gopis. Leaving, how can he leave? He pervades the entire universe. He pervades every particle of creation. So when it is said that he left them, that means he just became invisible to them. And they searched for him all over. They cried for him. And Shri Radharani was with him. And Radharani thought after some time that the gopis must be suffering so much, so I should go and console them. So she also pretended to be proud. She said to Shri Krishna, Preetam, I don't know how far you are taking me. I am tired of walking. If you wish me to come with you, then you'll have to pick me up. I'll sit on your shoulders and you'll have to give me a ride. And Shri Krishna thought, oh, Kishori ji is also becoming proud. And he disappeared. Then Radharani also started crying, and she was wandering around in Vrindavan. The gopis are wandering, searching for beloved Krishna, and they all met up with Radharani, and they said, Maharani, where can we find him? Where can we find Shyamsundar? And Radharani said, you cannot find him by searching for him. Sadhanau ghaira na sangaira labhya suchiradapi. In Bhakti Rasa Amrit Sindhu, Rup Goswami ji says, there is no sadhan, there is no method using which you can find God. Bhagavat prapti upayo hi sarva sadhana hinata. The only way to find God is to plead helplessness. Just put up your arms and say, I surrender to you. I do not know how to find you. I have no devotion within me. I have no strength within me. I am weak. I am without devotion. But all my hope lies in your compassionate nature, in your merciful nature. And then he will come. So Radharani said, just let's sit down and cry out to him. Our tears will melt his heart and he will have to come. So they all sat down and they shed tears and they called out to Shri Krishna. They did kirtan. They chanted his names, his glories, his pastimes. And Shri Krishna could not hold himself back. He once again became visible. He appeared in front of the gopis. But he appeared as Mahavishnu, 4 arms. He had 4 arms. He was holding the conch, the mace, the divine discus, Sudarshan Chakra, and the lotus flower in his 4 hands. And the gopis started fixing their clothes. They started arranging their jewelry. They became shy. They put their ghungat in front of their eyes. They became embarrassed. And they asked him, Sir, who are you? Why have you come over here? We're all females, and we are grieving for our beloved, and you should not be here. Because we have no consciousness of how our clothes are and what is going on with us, so you should not be here. And Shri Krishna said, but I am the one you are crying for. I'm your beloved. And they said, no, our beloved has 2 arms. He doesn't look like you. And Shri Krishna tried to convince them, but they would not listen. So he said, I am Bhagwan, I tell you, I am Bhagwan. So Lalita Sakhi, the clever one, she said to the others, she said, all right, if he's Bhagwan, then let's ask him a question. If you're really Bhagwan, then Bhagwan, God, does grant boons, does he not? He does. So we will ask him for a boon. So Lalita Sakhi said, Maharaj, you are Bhagwan? Yes, I'm telling you I'm Bhagwan. Then Bhagwan gives boons. He fulfills desires. Will you fulfill our desire? But of course, bring our Shyamsundar back to us. And Shri Krishna thought again the same thing, but they will not listen to me. So they do not identify with the Mahavishnu aspect. So Shri Krishna just made two arms disappear, gone were the Shankh, Gada, Padma and Chakra, and instead there was a flute in his hands, and he was standing a bit crooked. He was Lalita Tribhangi Lal. His body was curving at the neck, at the waist, and at the ankles, and all the gopis went and rushed towards him and embraced him. So you might think, all the gopis? So many of them, and one Krishna. But just as when he was dancing the Maharaj, the gopis did not realize it, but with each gopi there was one Krishna. He assumed as many forms as there were gopis. So here too, the same would have happened. Shri Krishna made each and every one of them feel that she is embracing her beloved Shyamsundar. So the gopis, the greatest devotees ever of Shri Krishna, even they reject Mahavishnu aspect because that is an intimidating aspect of God. That is a distant aspect of God. They don't want any distance, so they rejected Mahavishnu, and we too have nothing to do with Mahavishnu aspect of his or with Mahalakshmi. Chinmay Divya Dham Vrindavan Biharat Sanga Bihari Ke. Jagadguru Tam Shri Kripalu Ji Maharaj writes, he says, I participate in sweet pastimes with Shri Krishna, Shyamsundar, in the divine abode, Vrindavan. When we are aspiring devotees, when we are in the sadhana avastha, we are practicing devotion, then we must do Roop Dhyan. We close our eyes and bring Lord Krishna into our mind, and then he's walking, he's talking, his limbs are moving, his eyelids are blinking. He is alive, and we must think of him like that. He's dynamic. He's not in one place. He is walking, talking, he has expressions on his face, and he is performing his leelas, and I am a part of those leelas. I'm a part of those pastimes. Let's say Shri Krishna is swimming in the Yamuna river, and he's playing ball with some of the devotees, and I am one of them. I am one of the gopis in the water, playing ball with him in the water. I am also swimming alongside. There are countless pastimes because there's no limit to our imagination. So when we are sadhaks, we must imagine all this. But when one becomes a perfect devotee, when one becomes God realized, then what happens is this happens in reality. Then the devotee says, I participate, I'm a part of the sweet pastimes of Shyamsundar in the divine abode, Vrindavan. And as I drink the sweetness of his pastimes, at times, kabahu ka rahat paksha pyari ke, kabahu paksha banwari ke. At times I side with Kishori ji, Radharani, and at times with Shyamsundar. Devotees often ask one another, are you on Krishna's side or Radharani's side? Radha and Krishna are one and the same. But everyone has their little preference, knowing that they're both the same. Yet, and sometimes, best thing is that sometimes you're on the side of Kishori ji, sometimes Shyamsundar. My personal experience I would like to share with you. Once I was in Shri Maharaj's birthplace, our main ashram in India, near to Prayagraj, and it is the divine village of Mangad, which now has been recognized by the Uttar Pradesh government as, it has been renamed after Shri Maharaj as Kripalu Dham Mangad. So I was in the sadhana hall, and I only wanted to hear and sing the bhajans pertaining to Radharani. And I thought, I only want to hear Radharani's bhajans. Only Radharani, only Radharani. And then there was a switch. My mind said, I only want to hear Shri Krishna's pastimes, only want to hear about Shri Krishna. And that's what happens. Sometimes you want to hear about Radharani more, sometimes you want to hear about Shri Krishna. But it surprised me that all of a sudden when I said, I only want to hear about Radharani, then there was a great desire, no, only Shri Krishna. Then only Radharani, no, only Shri Krishna. Because they are one and the same. But there's a sweetness in teasing Lord Krishna when you're on the side of Radharani, when you're siding with Radharani. When Radharani says to the Sakhi, guarding the palace, don't you dare let that trickster come in. He's a deceiver. He's very deceptive. Don't you dare let him come inside. And then you are on Radharani's side, and then you say to Shyam Sundar, no, Shyam Sundar, I cannot let you enter, because Radharani is in a state of man. She is manini, and so you're on her side. Then you're on Shri Krishna's side when you go and plead with Radharani. You know he's suffering so much. And you please give him darshan. He knows no peace without you. He's been crying, his eyes are swollen. Oh Radharani, I think you overdo it sometimes. You do too much man. Without a reason, you're getting angry with him. So you're on his side. When they play Holi, there are two groups. So definitely you're on either Krishna's side or Radharani's side. And so sometimes when you're on Radharani's side, then you capture, along with the other gopis, you capture Shri Krishna, you capture him, and you make him a prisoner, you take him to Radharani, and then, along with Radharani, you dress him up as a female. And then you have a lot of fun with him, and you say, Yah chora hai sakhi, ya chori hai, yah chora hai. And you have fun with him and say, is this a girl? Is it a boy? And then you say, well, it looks like from his facial expressions that it is a girl. No, but doesn't really seem like a female. I think it's a male. Chora hai, chori hai, chora hai, chori hai. So you're on the side of, you're siding with Radharani and you make him a prisoner. Or you're pleading on Shri Krishna's behalf and Radharani says to you, go away from here, don't plead his case in front of me. Or I will not allow you to come over here. And you still plead his case because you feel so sorry for him. So Shri Maharaj says there's so much nectar that one experiences, sometimes siding with Radharani, sometimes with Shyam Sundar, while understanding and realizing that they are one and the same. But from the nectar point of view, it's wonderful to take sides. Shri Maharaj writes in Prem Ras Madira, Ko kah radhe samgiridhari, Kit vrish bhanu bhoop ki beti, Kit gokul gokul banchari, Ko kah radhe samgiridhari. Who says that Krishna can ever compete with Radharani? She is the divine, she is a princess of Barsana. And she wears, and the bhajan goes on to say, she wears such wonderful ornaments made of gold, studded with gems and precious stones and gems and diamonds. And there he is. He wears this crown and has a peacock feather. He sticks a peacock feather in it. And so many people say, the ones who really love him, they say, oh, how wonderful he looks. But what is he wearing? A peacock feather crown. So this is humor, and this is loving humor. So there's a lot of sweetness in that, in teasing Sri Krishna, without ever thinking that they are two personalities. Parat na jal Kripalu bhuli hu mukti pishachini nari ke. Says Jagatguru Shri Kripalu Ji Maharaj, I do not ever fall into the trap of the demoness called liberation. Liberation is desired by so many who are very naive. They wish for liberation. They beg God for liberation. Mukti de do, mukti de do. But mukti kahe gopal te, meri mukti bataye. Mukti itself, liberation in the female form, having assumed the form, says to Shri Krishna, how will I be liberated? Tell me. Pray tell me, how will I attain my liberation? Brajra judi mastak pare mukti muktu hai jai. Shri Krishna says, take the dust of Braj and put it on your forehead, and in this way you can attain liberation. Liberation wants its own liberation. Why should we desire liberation? In the beginning of the Bhagavad Mahapuran, Vedavyasji, the composer of the 18 Purans, he says, I have not given any importance to, I have not given any place to liberation, to any deception in my scripture. And the biggest deception, says Gauranga Mahaprabhu, is liberation. The other ones are dharma, artha, and kam. The four traditional aims of life: dharma, artha, kam, and moksha. And out of these four, Gauranga Mahaprabhu says that tara madhye moksha vancha kaitav pradhan. Of these four deceptions, liberation is the biggest. Because when you become liberated, when you merge within Brahma, then you are forever deprived of the sweetest nectar of Shri Krishna. So the devotee does not want liberation, but liberation wants to serve the devotee. So liberation, assuming a form of a female, goes to a devotee, and the devotee asks, who are you? Liberation said, I am liberation, I am mukti. Why have you come here? You are a Krishna devotee, so I have come to serve you. I consider it my privilege to be of some service to you. And the devotee says, go away from here, far away from here. I do not want anything to do with you. You have come to me with the desire to serve me as my servant, but what if I become attached to you? What if I become attracted to you and I will not want Shri Krishna anymore? I will fall into your trap. So, katvam mukti rupagatasi bhavati kasmada kasmadiha Shri Krishna smaranena deva bhavato dasi padam prapita dure tishta managanagasi katham kuryadanaryam mai twadgandhan nij chandana leparaso lepasya lopo bhavet. So the devotee rejects liberation. A true devotee does not desire anything from God. And if he says, but I want liberation, I don't want the world, desire is desire. There's an individual who's asking God for just better health and more wealth, worldly things. He is desirous of the world. There's another one who says, no, I don't want the world. When I die, I just want to be in Swargalok, because he wants to taste the pleasures of Swarga, the celestial abode. So he says, I'm better than the person who's asking you for the world. And the one who desires liberation says, I am far better than the one who's asking you for Swargalok. I don't want anything to do with Maya. I want liberation. But the principle in devotion is that you should not ask for anything. Without asking, you will get everything. Without desiring, you will receive everything. When you desire, you will get a small thing. Without desiring, you will receive everything. A devotee cannot remain a devotee for long, or he cannot even become a devotee, a true devotee, if he is in the habit of asking for something or the other, even if it is liberation. Because there's something besides God. He wants something besides God. He wants liberation. So a true devotee, guided by a true aspiring devotee, guided by a true guru, says, I do not fall, I never fall into the trap of the demoness called mukti. As we talk about mukti, I would like to point out or remind you that there are two kinds of liberation. One is Ekatva Mukti, Kaivalya Moksha it is called also. And there are 4 liberations. One is of the Jnani, the impersonalist, and that is the Kaivalya Moksha, Ekatva Moksha. When you merge, when the soul merges within Brahma. But there's 4 liberations of the devotee as well. Sashti samipya sarupya salokya kattamapyuta diyamanam na grihnanti binamat sevanam jana. A devotee says, I do not want even the 4 liberations. I only want seva, I only wish to serve you. There is a liberation of the devotee that's called Sarshti, where the devotee asks God, he asks Sri Krishna, I want the same powers as you. Well, actually he's asking Mahavishnu. I want the same powers as you. Samipya Mukti, I want to be always near to you. I want proximity to you. Sarupya, I want the same form. I want to look just like you. So they who have attained this Sarupya Moksha, they've gone to Vaikuntha and they look exactly like Mahavishnu because they have received this liberation. Sarupya, Unika Roop. I want the same powers, I want proximity, and Salokya, I want the same abode as God. A true devotee does not want even these 4 liberations of the devotee. He wants only one, just one. And that is also part of Ananya Bhakti. Ananya Bhakti. Not worshipping anything else or anyone else except for God. That's it, only God. No devtas, devis from Swargalok, no demons, no humans. If there is another one, then it is God in the form of the Guru. That's it. But only God. Na anya, no other. So why should we worship liberation? We worship Sri Krishna. If he wants to give me liberation, he will give me liberation. If he wants to put me in Naraklok, then I happily accept his will. A devotee says, I only want to taste the sweetness of the nectar of your lotus feet. It doesn't matter what kind of form you give me. You give me a human form, or you put me in Naraklok and give me a body that is going to suffer the torments of, that is able to suffer the torments of hell. Put me in Swargalok, wherever you put me, but promise me that my mind will always taste the nectar of your lotus feet. Promise me that I will always remain devoted to you. That's all I want, nothing else. So in this beautiful composition, Jagat Guru Uttam Shri Kripalu Ji Maharaj has expressed the desire of a true devotee. All his lyrical compositions have an immense amount of knowledge in them. Once we understand a bhajan or a kirtan, then we are able to taste the sweetness of it. We are able to appreciate it much more. So from Prem Ras Madira, the scripture Prem Ras Madira, comprising of 1008 most beautiful bhajans, we have sung one, and I've explained this to you. Hum Chakar, Preetam, Pyari ke. This scripture is divided into 21 sections, each one called a different Madhuri, and this is from Yugal Madhuri. And all this week, we will be exploring the sweetness and the knowledge of Prem Ras Madira. So I look forward to serving you again tomorrow and all this week with Prem Ras Madira. Boliye Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki Jai. Shrimad Sadguru Sarkar ki Jai. Boliye Prem Ras Madira ki Jai. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Jai Jai Shri Radhe.